Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Point of Change. I am your host, Matthew Jablonski. We are on StreamYard this morning, so I am streaming to Facebook and to YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, give me some likes and loves. Give me a share out if you wish. If you're watching on YouTube, like this video and like my page. What else? What are all those little things that us speakers are supposed to say? Do all of the things. Click all of the buttons and do all of the things. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed morning. I sure am. This morning's been pretty awesome. I had a video, or I had this all planned out. I had a really good live put together and planned out, and then some things happened that completely changed the avenue of approach I was going to take this morning. So I'm going to let some people get here and say some good mornings. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Crystal. Good to see you here. Thank you guys for being here. Brittany Frisbee, how are you? Good to see you this morning. Boy, I had an awesome conversation this morning, guys. What an amazing conversation. What an amazing person to talk to. Nicole, good morning. Tiana, good morning. Your laugh brightens my day. Good. It's always there. It's always there. Morning, Janine. How are you? How's life in the Northwoods? There's that refocusing camera that I love so much. Oh, I just love that. Drives me nuts. It really does. Morning, Sally. How are you? Come on in, guys. Come on in. I got a little story for you today. I've been having a conversation this morning with a pastor from Pakistan. Insane, right? Insane. Little Matt Jablonski from northern Wisconsin talking to a pastor from Pakistan. Sometimes the people that I talk to and stuff really just, it blows me away, touches my heart and touches my soul. It's pretty awesome. I love this. I love being a speaker. I love the message that I carry. I love how far my message has spread. I just love it. It's pretty cool, man. But we were having a conversation about religion. I'm going to show some information in a little while here, information for this pastor and his church. If anybody wants to donate, he didn't ask me to donate, but he just gave me his information, and I kind of asked him if there was any way we could donate. But I don't want to lead you guys in the wrong direction. You know, I mean, to me it seems legit, but I don't want to, go putting it out there and have you guys donate to something that's not legit. You know what I mean? So what I will do is I will put up his information on Facebook and what he sent me, and you can do your own investigation. And if you think it's a worthy cause, if you would like to donate to him, please go ahead and take it on your own will and do so. His name, hang on, I will put that up. Pastor's name is Naveed Sahur. I'm probably destroying that name with my country tongue, but he is from Kanawal, Pakistan, however you say that. But what an awesome conversation to have, to not only just to be discussing religion, but to be discussing the different ways that people worship, and to be discussing, the turnout at his church versus the turnout at my church. And that part really blew my mind. My church is this beautiful building down the street, air conditioned, heated. I mean, just an amazing giant building with like cathedral frickin' church. It's huge. And we don't have that good of attendance. And I think the same goes for a lot of churches across the nation. We really don't have that much attendance in church. And I'm not trying to push you guys into religion at all. Religion found me. I found religion, and I absolutely love what God has brought into my life. And it's a huge part of my recovery. And that goes right along with recovery with, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And myself, I was never a religious person. In fact, I considered myself an atheist. I don't know if I was an atheist so much as I was an agnostic. I just didn't know what to believe. And when I came into religion, I knew I needed to when I came into recovery, I knew I needed to make big changes in my life in order to stay in recovery. One of the changes that I made is I attend church every Sunday, and I pray on a daily basis. I read the Bible constantly. The religion has really changed my life in a lot of ways, guys. It really has. I'm not trying to get all preachy. I'm not trying to push ideals on you. Nothing like that. I just want to talk about it a little bit. It is crazy to me that my church that's right down the street, we have like 7 churches here in Whitewater, and they're all beautiful. They're all amazing, air-conditioned, heated, beautiful places to go. And attendance seems to be down. Over in Pakistan, talking to Naveed this morning, he has 50 people that come to his church every Sunday. 50 people that show up, and they don't ride a bus. They don't have their own cars. They all walk to church. And I got some pictures here. I'd like to show you the church these 50 people attend. Here we are. See this tiny little room right here with one fan up on the wall, 50 people cram into this tiny little room with no air conditioning, no heat, just some fans on the wall. You know, the cross is drawn on the back wall. Here he is. Here's him and his wife. They feed poor children. They feed orphans. So here he is handing out the food. And here's the children of his village. I love that picture. I think that's adorable. These people walk in the sweltering heat, most of them barefoot, through the dirt streets to get to church. They face persecution. They face all kinds of things because they're Christian. We in this country are so freaking spoiled. You know, we're so spoiled. I have a church right down the road from me with air-conditioned heats, pads on the seats, and attendance is low. People don't come. People have forgotten God. And I think we could all say that about this country, unfortunately. And I told him that it's sad that, you know, we don't love God as much as they do in these other countries. These people do all of that just for a little bit of faith, just for a little bit of that healing power that religion has for you. And we sit here in our frickin', you know, these beautifully built churches all around us, and the attendance is low. You know, people don't want to get up off their lazy butts and get in a car Sunday morning and go drive, you know, 10 miles, whatever it is, to your nearest church and go to church. Nobody wants to do that. To me, it's kind of insane anymore these days. You know, to see these people walking through streets in dirt, you know, to get to church, to hear a little bit of God, you know, and we can't even get in our cushy cars and go sit in a cushioned seat to listen to God. We won't do that, but they will walk through the streets in dirt and kneel on their knees in a tiny little church packed full of 50 people with just a fan on the wall, and they'll do that every week for God. But we won't do that. No, not here in America, right? We're too smart and we're too woke. Our woke culture, we're too woke to believe in God. It's stupid. Stupid. It really is. Anyways, I'm going to put up the information for this guy's church. This is what he sent me anyways. Here's his name. This is the town that he lives in. If you guys want to find him on Facebook, you can search for that name there, Naveed Sahur from Kanawal, Pakistan. You can search, you can find him yourself and message him and ask him and talk to him and check out his profile and see if you think it's legit. He also sent me this. There's a hell of a language barrier between him speaking from Pakistan and me in America. So a lot of things went lost in translation, you know, but I was trying to get the information from him so we could, you know, anybody that wants to donate could Western Union him some money or something like that. Here's what he sent me. I'm not sure that this is what we need, but this is what he sent me when I asked him for his information to send him a donation. So I think that's what you need. I'm not sure. But if you're smarter than me, you can do your own looking into that if you feel the need to give or to reach out to him. That's all his information for you. But it was just kind of a wake-up call for me this morning. And guys, if you're out there and you're searching for recovery, you want to stay in recovery, I'm telling you what I said earlier, if nothing changes, nothing changes. That is so true. I want to talk a little bit about my own beliefs and my own religion. I don't want to talk about my beliefs or my religion. I just want to talk about what it has done for me in my life, okay? When my father passed away in May of 2018, I was just over a year clean, and my father passed away. Before that, my first year plus in recovery, I was not religious. I was still, I don't know if I would say atheist or agnostic. I just didn't know what to believe. And my first year plus in recovery was spent very, you know, just going through the motions of what I thought normal people would do. After my father passed away, I was thrown in jail for a couple weeks because I was driving without a license. I had a cracked windshield. I got pulled over on my way back home, which was all God intervening in my life, because when I was coming back down here, I didn't have a plan to relapse, but I was so hurt. I was so destroyed. I was so broken by my dad passing away. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. And thankfully to God, I don't have to answer that question. I don't have to wonder what I would have done because God had me pulled over and thrown in jail for a couple weeks. Now, yes, at first I had that feeling of, oh, I gotta mourn in jail. This is gonna suck. This is the worst. How could this happen to me? Poor me, kind of thing. They put me in a cell that they called the Holy Roller Cell. I was in a cell with some guys that every night they had a Bible study. Now, when I got in there, I was also surrounded by a bunch of active meth addicts. Like, people were constantly talking about using and talking about when they got out that they were going to rob this place, or they were going to go get drugs, or they were going to shoot up, or they were going to do this, or they were going to do that. That was what I was hearing all day long. So I stayed in my bunk most of the time I was there. I didn't want to talk to these people. I didn't want that. But in the middle of the night at night, well, not middle of the night, but 9 o'clock at night, all of a sudden I hear a voice that was louder than all of those voices talking about drugs, and he was putting out positive vibes. A guy named Shane in my cell was running a Bible study at the table, and he was getting into the Word, man. He was preaching, and I heard it, and at that time, atheist, agnostic, whatever, didn't believe in nothing, but I knew that they were being positive. They had a positive message over there. They had good vibes, and I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to be able to stay in my bed the whole time, and I am not going to be able to just lay here and sleep until I go. I have to get up. I have to talk to somebody. And if I'm going to talk to somebody, I am going over there and I'm going to talk to these people in this Bible study, right? So I got out of my bunk and I went over and I started joining in on this Bible study every night. And Shane, before I left, Shane gave me this Bible. Now, this is not the original cover. My mother made this cover for me. Thank you, Mama. I absolutely love it. And I put the cross on there. But Shane gave me that Bible when I was in jail with him, and he really started to build me up, man. He really started to show me the Word, and he started to teach me about God and teach me about Jesus and build me up, not only in a religious manner, but in a spiritual manner and inside of myself. He started to tell me, hey, Matt, when you're in here, every person that comes through that door, doesn't matter where they came from, how old they are, what road they walked, you go over and you introduce yourself and you talk to them like they're your brother. Doesn't matter if they come in fresh out of high school, first charge they've ever got, and they come in here, you're over there introducing yourself. If they come in here with tattoos all over their face and piercings all over and done drugs their whole life and this is their 30th time in jail, you still go over and introduce yourself and you talk to them like you're their brother. And he said that is an amazing skill. Not everybody can do that. Nobody can learn how to have that skill. He said that is inside of you. The rest of these things you can learn. You could be a coach. You could be, he started to push me towards this direction. Excuse me. Towards becoming a motivational speaker. And it really started to sink in, man. I actually started to absorb the Word, and I actually started to absorb what he was telling me about this. I apologize for that refocusing camera up there. I know it drives me nuts. I don't know if it drives you guys nuts. I lose my mind. Anyways, so when I got out of jail, God set up some trials for me to pass before I was allowed to leave jail. I'll tell you that right now. So the whole, I'll tell it. Why not? So when I went to jail, I was in that, I was up there with Shane and I was waiting on transfer because when I went to jail, got pulled over for a cracked windshield on my way home from my father's funeral, was thrown in jail on a probation violation because I was driving without a license. Then a few days after I got arrested, I had court down here. So I had to be down here for court. Well, on paper, it looks terrible that you're supposed to be in court because I had missed court. That's what had happened. I had missed court and I needed to go back in and get my signature bond redone, right? So it looks terrible on paper when you're supposed to be at court and you miss court because you're in jail in a different county. That looks terrible on paper. So anyways, I'm supposed to come back down here. They're going to redo my signature bond and let me back out, right? That's what everybody is telling me. I finally get transferred. I come back down here. I go to court. I go to see the judge. Everybody's telling me you're going to get a signature bond and you'll be out today, Matt. That's all that's going to happen. I go before this judge thinking that that's what's going to happen, and that's not at all what happened. She was so angry with me and so upset, and I don't know if other people had already, set her tone for the day or what it was, but she didn't even look at me. Just went through the motions and said, I don't think, he has shown his past. through what he has done in the past and this, missing court because he was in jail in another county and blah, 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 blah. She says he shows no signs that he's going to change. I think he's a flight risk. And she hit me with $1,000 cash bond. $1,000 cash bond. I lost my mind a little bit, because how the hell am I going to come up with $1,000? Now, because I had been in jail, right? My father passed away. I got a week off of work for FMLA. But then going to jail, I lost my job. So now I don't have a job. I don't have an income. The only money I had was my last check from my last job. I had a little around $900, just short of $1,000 I had in my account, right? And so I called some people and I figured it out. I was going to pay my own bond up to, I think I was $20 short, something like that. And I would call my best friend, borrow the rest of the money from him, and get out. That's all I was going to do. Figured that would be easy enough. Well, they ran my card, and the jail tacked on a bunch of extra fees. When they ran my card, it overdrafted my card. So my funds were frozen for 3 days. So now the jailers are telling me, hey, sorry, we overdrafted your account. You're going to have to stay for 3 days. And I'm like, I was like, I guess I'm done. I'm done. I ain't trying to get out anymore. Now I'm just going to go back into my bed and I'm going to lay down. I went back into my room and I laid down and threw the blankets over my head. I'm totally defeated. I'm done. And I keep hearing this voice. Keep trying, Nat. Keep trying. Get up and make a phone call. Try, reach out, So I get up out of my bed and I'm like, hey, can I use the phone again? I want to make one more call. I want to try and get bond. And he's like, yeah, all right, I'll bring you out in a minute. Brings me out. And I call my best friend and I tell him what happened, that they froze my account. My funds are frozen. And he gets more angry than I was. He's like, man, there's always something when you're trying to get out of jail. They always got to do something like that. That pisses me off. I'm on my way right now. He says, I'm getting $1,000. I'm coming to get you. Can you pay me back when the freeze is off? I was like, oh yeah, you bet. No problem. You'll have the money as soon as they release my money from the bank. So there it was. He finally came and picked me up. And when I was walking out those doors, the whole time that all this is happening, I'm starting to doubt my newfound faith, because I'm like, dude, I started to pray. I started to read your word. I started to go to Bible studies. I started to do all this. And I see in this Bible that if I have faith the size of a mustard seed, that I can move mountains. Now you tell me that. And then I start praying. I start reading your word. I start devoting myself to you. And you can tell me that my faith will move a mountain, but it can't get me a signature bond from a judge? Like, that seems so crappy to me. I freaked out and I was yelling at God and everything else. When I was walking out those doors, all of a sudden it all hit me in the face. All of it made sense to me. All of those little things that I thought were traps set to keep me in jail were actually trials set before me for God to tell me, hey, you want to get out of jail? All right, you can get out of jail. But what if you don't get a signature bond? What if you got to pay $1,000? What if you got to call your best friend and humble yourself and ask him to borrow $1,000? Do you still want to get out? Are you still going to hold faith? So when I walked out those doors, I realized all of it hit me in the face. And ever since then, I've gone to church every Sunday. I've missed a few Sundays, but I go to church and I read this Bible and I pray every single day. And I've devoted my life to helping others. All of that happened because of God. And it was through my faith in God that started the point of change, that started everything I've worked. Yes, I have my own ideals. Yes, I have my own beliefs that mix my religion with my spirituality. I have found a higher power of my understanding, So, and that's what I really push for you guys, because after I accepted my higher power, my life exploded, guys. I'm not even kidding you. Like, you can call it a coincidence, you can call it whatever you want. But after I got out of that jail cell, I found a new mission in my life. I found a newfound love for being alive and a newfound push to continue my recovery and to continue my life. It was shortly after I got out of jail that suddenly I got that post I made this morning about that message, or about the woman paying for my teeth. That was shortly after I accepted God into my life. Shortly around that same time, I found an apartment. I'd been looking for an apartment. I couldn't find. People had turned me down because of my past. People had turned me down because of my drug-related crimes. I had been shot down for getting an apartment, and then all of a sudden I accept God into my life. And the landlord that I found, told him my story, told him, hey, yes, I have a really rough past. I'm trying to start over. And he threw the application away. He was like, I don't even need you to fill out the app. Well, he had me fill out the application, but he was like, you know what? We're not even going to do the background check. I like you. I want to rent to you. And he rented my first apartment to me that I moved into before this place. Every single thing that I wanted came to me when I started praying, believing, and receiving. When I started asking God to give me things and then believing that he would give me those things, I started to receive those blessings. And I'm not trying to push religion on anybody. I'm not trying to, do any of that. I'm just trying to tell you how it went for me. And I don't believe it's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe it was all God working in my life. Religion, you can call it whatever. You could say whatever you want about me being religious and about my religion and my beliefs, whatever, dude. I had to change everything about myself because the way I was before wasn't working for me. There was something missing in my heart and in my soul, and I found it through religion, through recovery, through other speakers, through the inspiration I gather here on Facebook, through all of you. I have found my recovery. And it's beautiful to have found myself and to have found my true calling, to have found a passion, to have found a purpose, because all of this has given me a reason for everything that I went through. For 13 years of meth addiction, it felt like such a waste. Those 13 years felt like I flushed them down the toilet until I found this, until I started speaking. It gave me a reason for all of that. It gave me a message. It helped me turn my mess into a message, and it put meaning to 13 years of what I thought was wasted time. And that is beautiful. That is beautiful, to find meaning in your life. Jennifer says, we are all here by the grace of God. Yes, Jennifer. Yes, that is awesome. Dana says, where would you recommend someone to start reading in the Bible if they are new to God and the concept of God? I would suggest going to a Bible study. Is what I would suggest. Have somebody else. I mean, if you want to start reading it on your own, that's perfectly fine. But they say you should read the Bible in its entirety. You shouldn't just flip open and find little passages. You should read it right from the beginning. But as someone who's new to religion, like myself, or like if you, Dana, haven't considered much religion, I would suggest finding a Bible study in your town at one of the churches and going there like normally a Wednesday morning kind of a deal. Or you can find out, check out some schedules and see who does Bible studies and what times. But that way you'll have somebody there to walk you through it and to kind of point out good points. And then you can start reading the Bible. Because honestly, I'm just going to be honest. If you start just reading this and you don't really have much of a belief and you just flip open to the first page and start reading, you're probably going to be like, this is baloney. Like, this whole thing is baloney. You might shoot down the idea right away. But if you can find somebody to interpret it for you and show you some goodness in this thing, then you start reading from the beginning, and all of a sudden it doesn't become, a bunch of gobbledygook. It becomes one of the best stories you've ever heard in your life, and one of the most amazing, it's just amazing. This whole book is amazing. I mean, yes, the Old Testament is mostly law. It's mostly do not do this, do not do that, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. But I mean, like Psalms and like some other amazing things in the Old Testament. And the New Testament, oh, that's my book right there. I love the New Testament. I should also tell you, I have the NIV Bible, the New International Version, I believe. It's not the old it doesn't have all of these and thys and those and betrothest and beholdest and all of that. It's more translated into modern English, so it's easier for me to understand. I never really could get into the King James Version. Some people believe the King James Version is the only true version. Some people believe the Hebrew is the only true version. I like this. It worked well for me. Nicole says, I was always told to start with Psalms and then the New Testament. No, that's one way to do it. Ash, one way to do it. Let's see. That's what religion is for, though. It's guidelines and guidance for spiritual prosperity. Yes. And definitely, if you're going to come into the Christian religion, if you're coming into this, it has taken me a lot of restructuring of my brain and my belief systems to get to where I am with my religious beliefs, because a lot of it's hard to believe. You have to open your mind a lot. And a lot of it, the way the Christian religion was spread, oh no, there's a horrible story for you. The way the Christian belief system was spread and the way it was forced upon people is horrible, to be honest with you. It really is. So there's a lot of things when you're talking about religion that you're going to have to open your mind a little bit and just try to read around it, you know. I hate to say it, you know, like to talk anything bad about my own religion, but at the same time, man, we got a lot of blood on our hands in the Christian religion. But just take it all with a grain of salt. I really hope that you find some faith. I'm not saying you have to be Christian. I definitely recommend looking into other religions as well. There are amazing religions out there. I just hope you guys find something to believe in, because believing in something has really opened up my life in so many ways. Before I started believing in God, I believed that this all happened by chance, right? I mean, I believed in evolution, which I still believe in evolution. I still believe in most of my scientific beliefs. But I looked at them in such a shitty light. I shouldn't swear on a religious video, right? Whatever. Anyways, I looked at it in such a terrible light because I looked at it as this is just a stupid rock that just happened, you know, that there was an explosion and then there was rocks that flew out of this explosion, and one of those rocks just happened to be the perfect distance from a star and started circling it, and slowly over millions of years a worm grew into a lizard, which grew into a monkey, which grew into a man, and we are all here for no point. Like, this is all pointless. Like, there is no God, there is no meaning to it. It's all just a big coincidence. It's all big circumstance, and we're all just here until we die. Like, and there's no reason for us being here. There's no point to us being here. Like, why don't we just get high and have sex until we're dead? You know, that was all of my thoughts were. Like, why do anything if all of it is pointless? If everything here on this planet is just here by chance, it's just a big coinky dink that everything happened to line up perfectly and people evolved, and now poof, here you go, you're all stuck here on this rock until you die. You know, that's honestly, some of that is still what I believe, but I don't look at it that way anymore. I look at it as we do have a creator. There is some greater force out there. There is a one flowing consciousness that moves through us all. There is something higher out there, some higher power out there that is guiding us and gives us a purpose. And then we do have a purpose. And maybe our purpose is to be here and to be as godly as we can. I believe that humans are the universe experiencing itself. I have all of these amazing beliefs that just open my eyes to different ways of the world and stuff. And it's just awesome. Dana, that, my friend, is anarchy at its finest. Yup. Thank you guys for all the comments and keeping up with me this morning. Good to have all you guys here. Thanks for joining me. All right, guys, I am going to let you go, though. I hope this video helped somebody out there. I hope it maybe you'll start thinking about religion. You know, it's something that has really amped up my life a lot and really helped me believe in myself and believe in other things. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining this morning, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay clean.